And I'm totally reminded about this stuff all the time on the program. A lot of people remind me about that in here in the U.S. We can also have fairies and spiritual things. Our friend Gina has mentioned it. Hawks mentioned it. A lot of people have mentioned it to us on the show. We've had a few callers on it. And I just started reminiscing in my head a little bit about maybe some of the cases I've been on that might have been maybe spiritual in nature other than the human spirit. Either animal spirit, or one time we caught a cat on one of our EVPs, or maybe it was the spirit world as in fairies and goblins and little monsters and leprechauns, and we went to this historical, they have once a month, the Historical Society has a speaker, and we went there to listen to a very good author, Elizabeth Tucker. And she's a very good author. She works at the university. And there was a lady there that has pictures of fairies. And I and her got talking. I was trying to get her to come on the show as a guest, but I guess she doesn't want to do it at this time. We'll work on it. Anyways, we're sitting there talking about fairies, and I got the impression that maybe some of the things we have that we call orbs could be fairies. If anybody wants to call in, the call-in number is 607-217-4667. Call in, let us know your ideas, let us hear from you. It's the Memorial Day weekend. We want to thank everyone who have served in any position they have ever served in. We want to thank them for doing their duty and helping us be free. I realize for some it's very hard time of the year's Memorial Day. Loved ones have either missing in action or have passed on in action. But again, we want to thank those people. It's getting to now on the show where I'm running out of topics. So fairies is a new topic. It's not new, but it's something I'm going to retouch on tonight. And a lot of people wrote books about it. I have 2 books about it. What they are is they are of little, circular colored objects that look like butterflies to me. And I was told they were fairies, and I and the girl talked for a good 25 minutes about it. And I went through some of our photos. They will be up. I'll try to get them up on my Paranormal group website there. We don't have a website for the show, but and they are very good pictures. They're in different places, graveyards, the woods. She likes to go hiking and other things, and she takes her camera with her like I do. And she's taking these pictures. Now, if they're not fairies or they're not some unusual type of forest or wooded area type spirit, nature spirit, I'm not too sure what they were. They're not, they look like butterflies, but they're not. Butterflies would not show up like that in a picture. Let's welcome some of our guests here in our chat room. It looks like we have about 10 people here in our chat room on this wonderful Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day to any of you people that are in our chat room today that are celebrating. These pictures show these little dots and these little circular objects. To me, I haven't figured out what they are yet. So I have to call them, she called them fairies, I'll call them fairies as well. Now, we all know fairies come from fantasy. Fairies are female or male little creatures with wings. Dungeons and Dragons, the game, had a lot of them in their stories and their game. We see a lot of stories in a library in the children's section. about fairies. I've seen a lot of them talked about in magic. Magic as in Wiccan and pagan religion type magic. I don't think they're harmful. I've never heard stories of them being harmful. I've heard stories of them being annoying, like they'll fly around you. Or, in this case, she took the pictures when she said they started flying around her. Now, she believes that they do not want you to do anything wrong, or what we call abusive or stupid or immature in the woods. They want you to treat the woods with respect, and they fly around her to let them know they're there. I believe that as well. She's a very good person, so I don't think she would do anything in the woods to harm nature. Now, this brings up when I was a child, we used to play in the woods, in the parks that are around my area. And I used to feed little twinklings. We were always told they were to leave them alone, or they're fireflies, or just pay no attention to them. They might have been fairies. I don't know. I've never actually seen one in my hand. I remember one time at a fair I went to, the guy claimed that he had a fairy skeleton that he did show me. It was a pretty weird skeleton, whatever it was. The wings were like that of dragonfly wings. That's what I remember most about it. But let us open up to your phone calls today. Also, if you want to be a guest on the show or be a part of the show, let us know. You can call Tuesdays through Thursdays from 10 till 4 in the afternoon. The same number that you see here being broadcasted on our thing up here. We broadcast this in two forms. We broadcast it, first of all, in watching me actually doing the show here talking, and then we also broadcast a sound version. If you want to request it, you can. A lot of people listen to our archives. So if you're listening to our archives right now, thank you for listening to our archives. I've kind of changed the camera around, so it just sees me talking. We're working on getting other stuff up and about. I was browsing through some of our material. And some of our material, we're going to be playing songs if you're an independent artist or musician or no one. And some of the stuff that I was browsing through here was absolutely wonderful songs. I really, really enjoyed them. I want to thank the artist who sent them to me.
Got mail.
Yep, I'm checking the mail. The artist that sent me this stuff is really, really good, and it's beautiful music. And, you know, they sent me their SoundCloud.com type thing. And some of their songs are just wonderful. It's called Torture Day. It's wonderful, wonderful music. It goes longer than that. They sent me a sample. Part of Torture Day. I think it's song number song number 4 up here they have on the SoundCloud.com. Good Western relaxation music. I'm going to see if I can get some more stuff for them. To see if we can get something else from them to play on this thing. We're trying to change our format a little bit. We're trying to do new things, like I've told you. And part of doing new things is having a break in the show. When you have a break in the show, we decided to maybe have instead of doing a normal format break of commercials and everything, we'll just play music. Haven't gotten anybody for commercials yet. We haven't gotten a full system up, the new system we had. Transitioning over. There. So, that's what we're doing. welcome into the chat room again, everybody that's in the chat room tonight. If you want to chat with us, if you ever on 7 p.m. Mondays, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, Ustream.com. It's the Paranormal World. Check us out up there if you're listening to us on the archives. A lot of people do listen to our archives. So if you're listening to our archives right now, thank you very much. If you're listening to us live here in the chat room and you want to call in, the number is 607-217-4667. So a lot of people like to chat with me during the show on my Facebook here. So like we were saying, we're talking about fairies. Let's get back to it. And in these pictures, hopefully I'll have them up, but they're a little light. They almost look like if you took a light of the different color and it was blurred across the screen in little dot areas. Kind of like an orb, but a little more blurrier. So it actually looks like something that's flying. Really, I would say if I was to size these pictures up, they'd probably be about 4 inches tall. Whatever these things are in this picture here, the fairies. And I've seen stuff like that. I've been bugged by something I thought was a bug, and it might not have been. I've seen videos. So it all started with me looking up videos of this new stuff going around. I saw the video of the on Yahoo of the UFO over the barn. I don't know what to say about it. I also saw another video on YouTube I liked about UFOs. I actually wrote to the guy. I'd like to have him as a guest on the program. We've talked before. We've done things before and talked about having him as a guest on the program. It's Memorial Day. That means all the parks are open. I don't know what parks have to do with people serving in the military, but every year they open up the pools and the parks, and there's fireworks, and it's a party atmosphere. Probably to try to make it have a little fun with what's going on. I got these apple rings. Wondering what I'm gnawing on. I got these apple rings from the candy store we went to. And the candy store also does candles and other things. Pretty good apple rings if you ever want to stop up there. I'll get them online. About 7:30. We might have a really short show this week. Changing stuff around. Whether you would like to keep up on stuff. We changed some of the stuff around in our studio. Trying to make it a little bigger. Trying to get it a little more adjusted to the new equipment we received. We're trying to get new equipment anyways. Also as well to that other equipment. So the studio looks a little different. That's why with books we have some other stuff over here by me. Kind of like in the middle right now. From the normal format of things. The camera's been moved down in front of me here. So let's go back to the topic. The fairies. Now, maybe you've taken pictures and noticed they have other things in them, like the fairies. Maybe you've taken pictures and seen some things in them. If you ever want to send us anything, it's called the Paranormal World at yahoo.com. It's really nice to do. If you ever want to send us something. That's how I got this photo that I'm talking about this week. Also received another photo. I'll probably save that for another time. But that photo was of a female standing in a closet area. It's like a shadowy type figure, but it'll be for another time. The shadow picture of the shadow person really intrigues me. It intrigues me because of two things. It intrigues me, one, because of the shape that they are in, and two, the colors. The colors are brilliant, really absorbent type colors of oranges and reds. They kind of look like you caught something flying, if you will. I don't understand really what in photos what stuff means like that. But I know this person that took a picture, and they're not trying to fool with me. They're not trying to take pictures of other things. And there's really no way you could actually produce this kind of picture unless you threw things up in front there. Up in front of the cameras and made these colorations like they are. The colorations are really spectacular and beautiful as well. Now, I am one to believe that nature has very brilliant colors. Nature is very beautiful. And whatever these creatures are, or whatever this is she took a picture of, is very, very beautiful. Now, the fairies, she talks about come to her willingly. I asked if she ever talked to them, because cartoons and movies and books have them talking, and she says she speaks to them, but nothing is audible back. Sometimes she'll see them in colors, like a color flash or colors flying around her. Other times she'll just know something's there, take a picture, and there they are. As this time, the picture that I'm looking at here in front of me. I have it right here in front of me. The park this was taken at, I've been to, which makes me even more intrigued. The park is an old park. The park is believed to also have a Bigfoot. I'm going to keep the park's name confidential, as I'm keeping her confidential. She did say I can mention the photos, so that's what we're doing. But this park I've been to before. It says it has a Bigfoot. I've seen weird things there. I've seen really large insects like dragonflies, really large bees there. So something could be up there. I would not doubt that this place has strange phenomena, or is on type of a vortex ley line, maybe, type thing. So the photo shows them flying around. She is obviously taking a picture of them. She said she felt them near her. She saw some lights and took a picture. And like I said before, it's very beautiful. The only thing that's very confusing to me is how far away these things are. They look to be about a foot away from her. And if that's the case, then these things are pretty close. Now, she said multiple times. I've seen other pictures that she's shown me. They're very beautiful. The pictures are very, very well done. I mean, they're not played with in any manner or form. They're not adjusted. They're not tampered with. They're not played with. She had some on her laptop one time. She showed me of her in a whole nother park in another state. And they're kind of different. Then she showed me some pictures that she collected of other things and from other countries. They kind of all look the same color aberration. Like I said, this kind of picture is if you took a picture of maybe a sheet of paper and just waved it in front of the camera really fast. You get that distortion. But the distortion looks like something is flying in front of her. It's there in front of her. It's not like flying past or or going anywhere. So whatever it is, its wings of these fairies were flapping, and that's what caused the speed of the camera. Now, with digital camera, you can have effects like that, but it's not a shutter speed. A camera would film had a shutter speed, and if you're familiar with that, it kind of looks like somebody got a camera of a moving object in the wrong color feed, the wrong stream of color. The speed, the wrong maybe shutter type, whatever it is, that's wrong with the shutter part of the camera. Now, in digital photography, it doesn't happen that way. So, and she uses digital cameras for these things. She has shown me pictures that she took with regular film. Old pictures and pictures that she had from what she calls her younger years of photography with these fairies, and they look almost the same. So I'm pretty convinced they're real, and it just made me wonder, have I seen them before? Have we dealt with them before? A lot of times I will dive back into cases when something like this comes up, and I found about 3 cases where something like this had been in our photos, and I'm taking now a closer look at the photos. I went into some other photos that we have because, you know me, wherever I am, I'll take a photo of whatever. So I do have them as well, and most of them are me at parks or me on trips where we went to somewhere in nature and whatnot on that part. Now, I would assume fairies in today's world that we have with these buildings and cities and everything else have to adjust just like any other part of nature to cities and cars and a busy atmosphere that us humans have. Now, the thing with this is, if they are staying out into the wooded area and staying true to nature, so to speak, that's probably why we don't see them very often. I admit it, I don't get out into nature as much as I should. Maybe I should start doing that. If you want to call us at any time, our number is 607-217-4667. As I said before, tonight we were talking about fairies. The phone lines are open if you want to call. We haven't had very many callers. Last week, somebody was asking about hauntings. We answered that. And we did go to the Para-Unity Fest. We discussed that. The interview for that is letstalkghost.com is where my interview with Let's Talk Ghost is. It's very nice, very, very good Para-Unity Fest. Very good get-together. I'm looking forward to the next one we go on. I'm looking for the next convention we're going to go on. Done a lot of things like that. Maybe I'll even start broadcasting some of my shows from there as well.